I started writing, and I didn't have like really a platform to like express like my stuff, so I sent it to like Blavity. I did Blavity, sent a couple pieces there, and I love Blavity. Like the platform is great, but yeah, they changed like a couple headline stuff like that, and it was like I really like that's cool, but for me, I wanted to like, really control my message, the headline, cover art, everything. So I didn't really like started to do anything except have a site where I can say what I want to say, when I want to say it, and how I want to say it, and hope like if people want to do the same thing, like they had a platform with me, I wouldn't touch their stuff. I don't want to do anything. I want you to get your message out, whatever it is, the way you want it, like. And that's all it's about, really, is just people being able to say whatever they want. This is Kels, creator of merch, and you're watching Good Stories.
Now, do you want each piece to stand out on its own, or are you trying to make one big connection with everything that you write?
Everything is different, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're all complex people. So if I write one piece, I might be expressing how I felt that day about maybe this thing or this person. And that's just what it is. Like, it don't have to be like, you know, in these days, like everything's attributed to our name. Like if it's a Twitter, if it's a tweet, like that's on you. Like that's you. You gotta walk around with that. I just get an idea one day and it just takes over my whole day. Like I can't think about anything else. And I try to think about other stuff, but I can't. So like, that's how it starts. And then I'm like, okay, I have an idea. Now it's time to figure out what story I want to tell. And then that part, I usually don't know like what the story is. So I just find like music that feed that emotion that I feel and whatever it is, and they keep feeding until I start seeing. Writing is more of a visual thing. Like I see it, then I just want to put it on paper. So for me, writer's block is like when I see images and I see things, but I can't make sense of like the image. Like so I can see a situation, I can see everything, but it doesn't have a place yet within the story, right? And then I'll be so hooked on one image where I'll be like, man, this is very moving to think about. Like I identify with this so much, and I could be so focused on it that I ignore what the story should be, like, and focus on the story, the whole, instead of just minor things. So for me, it's just getting bogged down in the details, I guess, what's important and what's not, because you know. I don't know what it is. I just never want to trim anything. I want everything, okay, we can make it work, but that's just not realistic. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that's where the block comes in when you want to make everything possible. Even with being a perfectionist, there's an art form to it too. And I get to, you know, have that balance of being a stickler for punctuation and grammar rules and things like that. But at the same time, I get to be an artist. So it's a perfect combination for me.
Mm-hmm. What does success look like to you?
Success looks like being a legend, man, being legendary. And you can't be a legend unless you do what's best for you yourself, of course, but you also put on for your family and your friends. Like, success is being able to make my dreams come true and help my friends and my family make their dreams come true too, whatever it is.
This is Joshua from the South Side of Chicago, and you're now watching Good Stories. I've known Kels since I was 14 years old. We went to the same high school, Mount Carmel High School. First time I heard about You Can Merch, I don't know the exact moment, but I will say this. Kels had been talking about doing something like this for a long time. Creating a platform for artists to express themselves. He's always been a creative, he's always been forward thinking. He's probably one of the smartest people I know. I remember watching movies at his crib like all the time, and like the way he would critique it is just very smart, very precise. So I think that's when I kind of first started seeing like how creative he was, just like the way he described films and stuff that he was interested in. Like one thing that I do like that I hate about like writers and like just journalism in general is that when people write, it doesn't seem genuine, and the way that people write seems forced. With him, it's legitimately like having a conversation with him. Like how he writes is how he talks. I think that's one thing that I really appreciate about it. It does it like it's not too complicated. It's very concise and straight to the point. And I think we need more of that instead of people kind of trying to sound out of their range. And even when you're talking about topics that you may not even know about, he still has a way like. Not necessarily of explaining it, but of relating it to you. And coming to your level with it. So that's something that I really appreciate about the way that he writes.
Let's talk about the piece you did.
Yeah, so it's called The Book of Life Saving. It covers just existentialism, finding purpose from my perspective and my point of view. I'm somebody I feel like that's, not that it's mutually exclusive to me, but like somebody that's been through fairly a lot. A lot of people that I know and that I have been around or that I'm really close with didn't really know how I was feeling during the times that I'm kind of explaining. In college, I had a lot of ups and downs, and being able to share that, it was therapeutic. But I will say, like, when I first wrote it, I was sick. I had strep throat. Like, I was just in bed and mind was racing, and I just felt like I finally had to just get something out and get something on paper. I was like real stir crazy at that moment, so I was like, man, I need to do something. So I just started writing, putting pen to pad, and it kind of just flew from there. I didn't really release it to like change anybody's life or anything like that. I literally, and I kind of like call back to this, like Kels has been trying to get me to write for the website for a while now. Damn. Well, Kels has been trying to get me to write for the website for a while now. And I literally just, what's going on, dog?
Somebody hit me like when I first started the site, just told me like how much my writing inspired them to write, and I just didn't think of it like that. I just wasn't in that mindset when I started writing, sharing. Like, I just wasn't a thing like that. So when somebody said that to me, I was just like, man, I see why musicians and artists take so much pride in people telling them how much their music means to them and stuff like that, because it gives you a purpose. It gives you like, okay, I'm not just doing this just cause. I'm not just doing it because I'm vain or I'm self-indulgent. I just want to talk about whatever I want to talk about. It makes you think like, man, I can do more than just get my feelings out. I can help people. I can change things maybe. Maybe even if it's a small change in the world, it could be a change, and I can just do that.